Hi, lovely family. Welcome to today's episode of Cooking with Abba. And today we're going to be making homemade yogurt. Yes, homemade yogurt using varied milk options and in various flavors and some Brukina. Yes, so this is millet, cooked millet with yogurt recipe as well. And like I said, we're going to do it in different flavors of strawberry, cocoa, and the plain. Yes, the plain unsweetened, plain sweetened, however you want to do it. We're going to teach you how to do all of this using powdered milk, using steamed milk, liquid powder, whichever, yogurt culture, using probiotic yogurt already store bought. We're going to show you all of it in this video. So just sit down, just relax, just get some biscuits by your side so that you'll be eating as you're enjoying it. So yes, like I said, you can use a powdered milk, you can use a yogurt culture, you can also buy store-bought yogurt, Millet, Pascal, they all kind of work. So this is LP milk. Which is the most appropriate. But if you don't get LP milk, you can also buy any dairy-based milk, because when it comes to yogurt, you need the dairy-based because they need the lactose and things in there. And so if you are using non-dairy, you won't be able to get that result. And yes, the description button has the quantities in there. For the smaller batches, I used 1 cup, yes. And then for the very big one, I think I did 3 or 4 cups. That's all in the description button below. And when it comes to yogurt, you need warm water. So what I tend to do is I do lukewarm water, because if it's too hot, you're now going to wait for it to cool down. If it's too cold, you're going to struggle, because that sort of heat should be in for the how do I say, the microbes in the culture to be able to really work. There's a whole science, there's a whole formula, and you'd have to respect it. So usually I make the water lukewarm. Yes, you boil it, but I don't let it boil up, so that you don't have to waste your time cooling it. You should be able to put your hand in, even though it's a bit hot. Yes. So you can check the description button for all the quantities as well. Sometimes people use normal tap water, plain water, like the not tempered water, and you will not get the exact results. That's the reality. Yes. So if you want very good results, less stress, do the lukewarm water as well. So once I'm done, I'm just going to mix it up. So these 3 were from the powdered milk, and like I said, for the powdered milk, you need to get dairy-based milk. Yes, LP milk is what you can look out for. If you don't get the LP milk, you can use any dairy-based milk, whether it's Nido, Cowbell, Peak, whichever milk option you want to make use of. Yes, so you need to mix this up very much till it's very smooth. Mind you, cabbage in, cabbage out. And so if you don't mix this well and there are lumps in, you finish doing your yogurt, it will come to the end and you're still going to get lumps in there. So it is very much necessary you mix this as smooth as possible. And another thing you need to note is that before you start this whole process, you should sterilize all your stuff in there as well. For this, I did one with the store-bought yogurt. Yes, what matters the most is that it is probiotic. And so in Ghana, you have a lot of Millet, which is also available. I also use Millet when I'm doing this, and I don't have my own culture in there. So this one, I think that day I didn't have Millet at home, and we had Pascal. So I was like, let me just try out this as well. Now this is yogurt culture. Yes, unfortunately, mine was a bit lumpy because when I bought it, I was not ready to use, so I froze it. So when it thawed out, I had gotten a bit of lumps. Now, usually, when those who do the bulk yogurt, when they do, usually when you do yogurt and want to do another batch, you need to keep some of the old batch. And so some do the culture and they sell. And so I tend to buy that as well. Now, they also have it in the powdered form. They have it in the liquid base form like this. You can always get yogurt culture as well. So I did one, like I said, with just the store-bought ones, which you can use the Millet for, you can use Pascal for, any store-bought yogurt, probiotic yogurt. That's the most important thing. Then I did the other one, which had the culture, yes, and then this one, which also had the culture. Now, the idea was one was supposed to be very thick and one was supposed to be a bit light. with the 3 experiments, but something happened, which you see later on. So the fourth piece I did was to use the semi-skimmed milk, the liquid-based milk. You can use non-skimmed milk. You can use a semi-skimmed milk as well. But the skimmed milk, I've not really tried it for yogurt, and so I can't really recommend. But I think you should be able to do once it's dairy-based as well. And for the milk, you're going to let it come to a boil. Yes, it needs to come to a boil. Then once it comes to a boil, you'd have to let it cool down. Yes, that's the most important thing. When it comes to a boil, it's going to foam up. Yes, so you need to be careful of the size of the pot you are using, because before you realize, it's going to foam and it's going to be all over. And most importantly, don't fill it to the brim so that you don't have issues. So once it cools down, you're going to get a little curd coming up on the top, which you're going to have to take it off because you don't want your yogurt to come out looking funny at the end. Then once it's also cooled, you can then add in your culture, whether you want to use a store-bought one, you want to use the local ones from those who have made their yogurts. It all works. Sometimes they also sell the yogurt culture, the powdered one. You can also buy that, and that works. But I realized for this, the local one gave better results in when I used it. Yes, I don't know what happened to the Pascal. Maybe it was because it was pasteurized or something. I don't know, but I shut down faster. Yes, so I'm just being very honest here as well. So once I was done, I just covered it up. And for yogurt, you need to keep this for like 8 to 12 hours to get that fermentation thing properly. And it has to be in the cool, dark place. Yes, a place which there's no light in there, because mind you, it needs a good source of heat to be able to ferment. Yes, it doesn't mean go and put it in the sun too. You kill it. Too much is also trouble. So this is what happened, and so this is the samples. Yes, so the first one, the fourth one, which I used the semi-skimmed milk. Yes, you realize the thickness is also there. If you taste that it's not too fermented, you can still cover it up and then put it there and let it ferment extra. Yes, and then the other one, which I increased the water a little bit, and then no, that was a normal water. Then with just a Pascal, that one didn't work out too well. Yes, that one did. In fact, then there was one I did which was very thick because I was trying to see if I could get some Greek yogurt out of it, and I used the Pascal as well, and that one too. It was a bit okay, but wasn't really as thick as I had wanted it. So I realized the Dolettes usually does it for me, but I don't know what happened in there. And those are not very thick, so maybe that's why. And then there's the normal portions in there, which also came out very good and very thick. So technically, I can mix all of them because they are all milk based. They're all very much the same structure stuff. Now, this is one thing I wanted to show you. I'm not a fan of food color, but I wanted to show you the realities. Now, you realize I added in strawberry flavoring, and I added in some sugar to sweeten. You can use any sweetener of your choice. You can use dates, maple syrup, any sweetener you like. You won't still not get that pink color, that strawberry thing. And so when it comes to the yogurt, when you see it colored, usually there is food color in there. The pink food color is what gives you that strawberry kind of pinkish color you see. So that is a reality on the ground. So if you're not a fan of food colors, then you can decide to just do it plain, but just your flavor, which you won't see the color in. And as usual, very experimental. I tried one with cocoa powder as well because I was like, we are in Ghana where we have a lot of cocoa powder. Why don't I do one? And I realized the cocoa powder one, once you're done, the cocoa reduces the sugar based in there. So it also tastes nicer. It tastes milky, creamy. The only thing is because I introduced it late, even though when I didn't get it like the cocoa blending in all true and true. So that's one thing you should also note. I am yet to really try from start inculcating the cocoa, but what came to mind later was I could just have mixed the cocoa powder into a more liquid state, like a paste or something, and then introduced it in. That would have worked perfect. But I think among the three, the cocoa one was my favorite because didn't feel too sweet, yes, or sweet, and the taste was different. It was different in a nice way. You know, everybody likes cocoa-based stuff in Ghana, and so the vibe was good. Yes, so you realize how thick the yogurt has become. Yogurt actually, when you do it, when you're doing it, may look liquid, but then it's going to double in texture. That's another thing about yogurt making. And so it's one of those lucrative ventures you can go in if you want to start a small business. You can just do yogurt and sell. People who do Brukina and things in the road, the traffics on the road, they make a lot of money. That's another reality. And you know, on Ghana streets, one favorite is Brukina, which is from millet and then the probiotic yogurt. Yes, the yogurts we usually do or what we've just done. And my trick to doing Brukina is to soak my millet and then once it's soft, usually I do it for like 3-4 hours just to soften it up a bit and then to be able to rinse and rinse and rinse properly. You don't need any chaff, you don't need any dirt in there. Mind you, you need to buy from a good source where there's no bones because the bones can be troublesome, else you'll be in trouble. And you need to pick out the bones too before you proceed, else you chew bones as you are doing your stuff. So I bring it to boil, yes. You can actually eat millet porridge where you just cook just the millet and then you eat it. People don't see much of it, but then it's there. That's one of my favorite porridges. Pure millet porridge, not the milled house or cocoa or anything, just pure millet porridge. It takes a bit of time to cook this, that's a reality, and you need a lot of water. But when it's done, it's going to burst in there and you're going to see it very soft and it's still going to hold up to its shape. Its round granola shape be like that. Yes, all true and true. And once you're done, you need to let it cool down. You need to make it as thick as possible. Yes, that's the most important thing. Then obviously you add in your sugar to it. So once you're cooking it on fire, please, I almost forgot, you need to add salt in there as well. And then once you're done, you just add in your yogurt to it. And this is usually some originally would kind of blend it, the millet, and then you do like the way you do achake. So they use the mesh or the sieve to cook it over steam to get it lumpy. Then they introduce it in there. But this is my shortcut to doing my Brukina in the house. You can also try it and give me your take on it. And this is super healthy. It's rich in fiber and is good for your tummy. Now, one thing you need to know about yogurt is that for females, it's good for checking yeast infections as well. And for females, it's also good for when it comes to our health as well. And for general purpose, when it comes to this yogurts are also good because of the fermentation. Fermented goods or fermented foods actually helps us with gas and stuff in our stomachs. Yes, you know, the intestines need a bit of these foods to be able to work on your guts as well. So do well to inculcate this yogurt into your diet as well. Now, just in case you want to speed up or ease up the stress or you have a food processor, you can also do it in your food processor. You can even use your blender to do it. Yes, all that you need is to pour in your milk powder, which I said has to be dairy based, blend it a bit to make it smooth. Yes, you can use your blender, you can use your food processor. Just mix it till it's smooth. Then you mix in your culture. And then once you're done, you just proceed to, storing it. Now, for this particular piece, what happened was the downside. Yes. So I think I got the milk powder and I didn't store it properly. And so it kind of got flattened. I didn't notice it. I just proceeded, I did the thing. Then I realized it didn't form because the milk powder had flattened. Yes, when you say, unya kukufunu, unya silver, unya silver, unya kukufunu. By the time I got the culture, the milk powder had expired. When I had the milk powder, I roamed, so I wasn't getting the culture at Hip Coast. But it was later that I got which room, another trouble. So if you get results like this, that means that sweetheart, then the milk is not good for it. Yes, we realized it had curdled. Yes, and this was a no-no. I had to trash it up. Yes. So if you get something like this, then sweetheart, the milk powder you're doing, you know, go work, go and change. So yes, I hope you did learn a lot from this video. I hope you did like this video. I hope you're going to try it and let me know which is your favorite, whether the strawberry, the cocoa, the Brukina, or the plain ones as well. Till I see you in the next food video, do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I. Mwah.